Okay, so this video is all about the circuit symbols and creating circuit diagrams. So we're just going to go over some of the basic circuit symbols that we will be using in our lessons. So the first one here is a cell. So you can see with a cell, I've got a short, small straight line and then a really long straight line there. So the short one is actually my negative side of a cell, and this one here is the positive. So this is a single cell. Okay, we often call this a battery in just everyday life. Okay, but actually what we should really be using is a cell for this. So when we have two or more of these cells, okay, that is when we have a battery. Okay, so with our battery, we have usually two of them drawn together and then a little dotted line between them. Okay, again, you can see the short line being the negative to the negative to the positive. So in this case, I've got two cells connected in a battery. When we come over here, we've ended up with our switches. So in this case, I have an open switch, okay, which means my circuit is not working. Whereas if I have them connected together, like so I have these two little dots joined up, we call this a closed switch. So it's allowing my circuit to flow through. So in this case, these are both switches. All right, so I can control the circuit. If I open the switch, I stop my circuit from working, and if I close the switch, I can let the current continue to flow through, so my circuit would be working. We then come on to then using some of our measuring devices. Okay, so in this case, we want to measure current, so we're going to be using a little circle with an A in that, and that is our ammeter. Okay, ammeter with two M's. And when we want to measure our voltage, our potential difference, we're going to use a voltmeter, and in that case, it's just a circle with a little V in the middle, so that would be our voltmeter. I always tend to use this symbol, so a circle with a cross in it, to represent a bulb. Sometimes you may see this online as well, just kind of like this little, almost like a little loop to represent a bulb. So these both represent our bulbs, okay, or lamps that we're using in a circuit. I tend to use always the cross one though, but I know online you might see some with this little kind of loop on there as well. The other device that we're going to be using is we're going to be using a resistor. Okay, so we have two types of resistors. We have fixed resistors and variable resistors. So in this case, we have a fixed resistor. Now that simply is just a little rectangle. Again, online you might see it represented with this little zigzag line again, but I'm going to just use the rectangle for this. Or you might see that rectangle with a little line, kind of arrow pointing through. That means that we have a variable, okay, resistor. And a variable resistor basically means we can change the resistance, we can vary the resistance there. So we're going to have a little go at constructing a couple of little circuit diagrams now. And when we're doing this, we need to make sure that we're always using our ruler. Okay, so I've got my really fancy space ruler here. So the first thing is that we always need to use straight lines. I've got my ruler. The next thing is that all the lines must connect. So I shouldn't have any gaps in my circuit diagram at all. And we also need to check whether we are putting things in series or parallel. So have a look at the circuit. Have we got them all in the same loop? Have we got them in different loops? So I'm going to start off with a really simple experiment which we will be doing, which is going to be measuring the resistance of a light bulb. Okay, so I'm going to connect this into a battery. So I'm going to just have a simple battery circuit symbol. So I've got my two lines, so my small line and my long line, okay, showing that. And I'm going to have my light bulb, okay, my light bulb. And to calculate my resistance, I need to know the voltage and I need to know the current. So I might do a few little things here. For example, I might involve a switch to control my circuit. So I might show that in the diagram if I'm using a switch. So for example, I can have my switch, and when I want to record it, I need it to be closed. To calculate my resistance, I'm going to need to have an ammeter. My ammeter is all needing to be in series. So again, I'm going to have my ammeter in series, so that's within the same loop. But to measure my voltage across the light bulb, my voltmeter needs to be in parallel. So I'm going to have all of this connected across my light bulb in parallel. So you can sort of see here that I've put my voltmeter across that light bulb. And then I'm just looking through to make sure all of my lines were connected Okay, yeah, that's all perfect. And I've used straight lines through there. Okay, so again, little things like if they're asking you to draw, for example, light bulbs in series or in parallel, we're just going to have a little go at doing those. So for example, let's say I have a single cell and I want to draw my light bulbs in series. Okay, so I'm just going to have 2 light bulbs in series. So I'm going to, drawing my light bulbs up using my ruler. And then I'm going to just connect them to the top again. So we can see that those are 2 in series. If I want them to be in parallel, it's really important that we're doing a parallel circuit, okay, to again be really neat and tidy with this. So I'm going to draw in my light bulbs first. I find that a little bit easier, and then I can connect with my ruler my lines. It's quite nice. I'm using sort of squared paper for this, but you could also use the length of your ruler to make sure you're keeping them nice and neat. You can also do this obviously in pencil, but you can see they're in 2 separate loops. So I've got them in parallel and they're again all nice and tidy. So if we're drawing them up, that's what we need to be doing, making sure if I wanted to measure current, my ammeters go in series, my voltmeters go in parallel, but every time I'm using nice straight lines and all my lines are connected.